Welcome back. I wanted to talk to you about steps that you can take through an emergency, through an urgency, and through hard times. And it's kind of like I'm going to focus right now mostly on emergencies. So, before I continue, I wanted to remind you that down below is my email in case that you want to help me out by sending an Amazon gift card. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So, second part, I am going to try to define emergency, urgency, and hard times so that you can figure out which one you might be dealing with, so that you can decide how to put it, who should be in charge, meaning your body, your mind, or your emotions. Because there are three different, things, and you can't put one on top of the other one when you're dealing with the other one, because then you're going to screw up. So, again, this is just for, experience. This may not apply to all situations that you may be dealing with, but it's kind of like, it's just the thought process, the one that you want to have into consideration. So, first of all, you gotta think or feel or determine if you're having an urgency or an emergency, because this is key. Urgency is urgent, meaning that you cannot put it out and it is do or die, and you can't have your mind dealing with urgencies. Here is why you can't have your mind dealing with urgencies. If you're driving a car and someone is going to crash you, do you think that you will have the time to think, or do you think that your body will just react and get you out of the way? Yeah, your body does that. See, urgencies, your body will actually take control over you, because if it doesn't take control of the situation, your body is probably going to perish or is going to be seriously injured. So at this point, you, as in your head or your feelings, they might try to take control over your body. Don't let it happen. I am sorry, but you should be in the passenger seat at this point, because your body knows what the hell to do to keep it alive. Your body is a living organism and it wants to be alive, so it will do whatever it takes to be alive. But if you are on the way, then your body will have to face the actual urgency that you're dealing with. Then it has to face you, and at the same time it will have to drag your feelings along the way. So let me explain this. Let's say that you now are in the forest and you are being you have a bear that is near you. Okay, let's say that you are freaking panicking because you have a phobia for bears. Guess what is happening? Your body might be like, okay, I'm not moving, I am not doing anything, and I am preparing to run or whatever, and your body is thinking by itself. But guess what? Then you are thinking, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm so scared, oh my god, I'm so scared. So guess what is happening? What that does is that you, meaning in your brain, you are producing hormones that are actually going through the muscles, and your body might be like, I'm trying to relax, and at the same time you are sending hormones that are like, oh no, I'm trying to flee. So what happens when you have two contradictory orders in your head or whatever? The system collapses, because you cannot have yes and no at the same time. It's either or one. So let your body do whatever the body is capable of doing. Try to make it happen. How the hell do you do that? Well, I have several videos explaining these things so that you might catch a break on that one. So anyway, The hard time, it's kind of like a bad situation that will happen to you, but you have a lot of leverage. You may have time, you may have resources, you may have time to call someone, you may have, a way out of it. And in this particular thing, you want to have a balance of your mind and your emotions. You have to have a balance between the two. You can't be too emotional and you cannot be too logical, because otherwise you're going to screw up. So for example, let's say that this morning you got fired, and then you're like, oh crap. So you might be excited because you're like, yeah, I wanted to get, out of this freaking job because I hated it for so long. So you're going to kind of be happy. But then logically, you're going to think, oh my God, now I have no money. So what the hell am I going to do? So see, you have two contradictory things. For one hand, you're happy because now you're free. But on the other hand, you're thinking, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do because I have kids at home that I have to feed. So what the hell? So you have to kind of figure this one out by yourself. And hard times, like I said, it depends upon your situation, it depends upon the place, it depends upon who you are with, it depends upon what your resources are, it depends upon the weather or the nature of the situation, like earthquake or whatever the hell is happening. It depends upon, like I said, the money. I mean, it depends upon so many things that it's just difficult to define. But the point is that you have choices. You have lots and lots and lots of choices. And hell, that day you might even have lunch with a friend, and that friend might tell you, hey, I have someone that needed someone like you, so come work with us. So see, you avoided the hard times. But if it is going to be a hard time because you're like, oh crap, it has been 3 days and I can't find a job, then I have to ration the food, I have to do this and I have to do that, then you have to kind of come up with a plan and stuff like that. So you kind of follow through your own thinking and you have to find a way out. And for this, you really, really, really want to have a support group if you are a woman, because you might be missing a lot of opportunities and things because you are not, managing just one choice. See, men are better at handling hard times, sometimes, not all the time, but it is because they are thinking about, okay, all I have to do is find a job. But we or women are like, okay, we have no money, we have to ration, we have to figure out this out, we have to, look good for the next interview, what am I going to wear, what am I going to do, who is going to drive me there if I can't get there on time. You have so many freaking things going on at once, because that is what we do. So it is good or bad? No, it is just different ways of handling this situation. So anyway, now we come to the emergency. This is the one that I want to focus this video on. And this is very, 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 very important. This is like I said, logical point, but like steps. But you might have to go back or come back or go back or from one to the next or from one to the next until you finish the emergency, or you are absolutely certain that the emergency became hard times or the emergency is completely over and now you can move on to the next thing. So here's the deal. The first thing that the people tell you when you have an emergency is obvious. You try to get to safety. So it's no-brainer, right? I mean, come on. The first thing that people do when they're in the building and there is a fire, you need to get to safety, meaning you need to evacuate. So before you even do this, as soon as you realize that there is an emergency, grab your forehead, grab your head, and that way you will remind yourself that you have to take a look around quickly, like a snapshot of the situation. You have to see, where is my wallet, where are my keys, where are my shoes, where are my these, where are that, where are these, and grab it. Because you may not have time to come back to it, and you might need to, have like a bucket bag, whatever the hell you have, and then you also need to figure out, okay, breathe. This is the second part. Breathe. And now, if you have an emergency and you have all these sounds and lights and everything, and you might be scared or whatever, at this point, I also recommend that before you even bother to try to get to safety, you try to get to breathe, because you can't get to safety if you're running and you are actually falling in the ground and stuff like that, or you can't even figure out what the hell because you can't breathe. So you need to breathe. So how the hell do you breathe if you're having like a panic attack and you are having like 1,000 people screaming and things like that? So there is no easy way, but I try to tell people, and I recommend that you put your hand like this and you press very gently, 32 times into your chest, soft, okay? Not so hard, but like in the middle of the solar plexus thing. Here is why. Because if you do this, and if you can't do 32 because it's too much or whatever, try to do it to 9, okay? There are specific numbers that you do this because it will keep you grounded. So if you're having like that, then you are kind of like saying like this, I'm alive, and then you take a deep breath, thank you, so now what? So just let me go through this, and then you kind of calm down. And you need to do this because you are on no good position, and you will not be able to help anyone or do whatever if you're panicking, if you can't move, if you can't think, if you can't breathe, if you can't do anything. So put your things together. If you don't, then you're going to be a burden for somebody else to carry, which is a problem, of course. So first objective, touch your forehead, take a look around, grab whatever the hell you can, jacket, whatever. And then look, breathe. If you can't breathe for whatever reason, then do the thing about touching. If you now can breathe and you're kind of normal, think about following the crowd. But here is the deal. Sometimes following the big crowd is kind of silly. It might be smart in some occasions, but in some occasions it is not. If you are a person that is always thinking ahead, you probably already have a way out of this problem. You probably already have located where is the emergency exit and stuff like that. You probably do. But if you don't, because you're not surrounded by something that or whatever, then you might try to think about following a middle kind of size ground with people. And here's why. Most people, when they're in a plane, for example, they will go towards the front of the plane, and then you have every single person going towards the front of the plane because that is the way that you came in. Now, is that smart? Yeah, it is, if you are in the middle of the plane towards the front. But there is another exit in your back. Almost nobody thought of that. So if you are like in the bottom part of the plane, the back, what the hell do you do? Do you really want to go to the front? I mean, come on, you have one that it might be next to you. So most people will not realize this until it is too late. So again, breathe. Take a look around if you can. Breathe again, and then try to get your priorities straight. Your objective is get to safety. If you confuse objective with activity, then you're going to be screwed. Because if you're thinking that you only want to get to the head, to the front door, or you only want to get to the exit, like I said, you might be following the crowd towards the front of the plane, but that is not the objective. Your objective is to get out, and you might find another exit right next to you, and you are missing it because you're confusing the activity with the objective. The objective is get to safety. The activity is, okay, I'm going to go towards that exit. So try not to confuse those two. I mean, as soon as possible, And this is why an emergency is different from an urgency. An urgency, you may not have time to think, and you don't have time to react, and you don't have time to anything. You let your body do the thinking, and then you just roll with it. But in an emergency, you might have time. Okay? So if you have time, breathe. And keep your objective clear in your head. And stop messing around. The activity is not an objective. If you want to get to that door, you might not be thinking that you can jump out of the window. So just keep that in mind. So kind of like that. So the second part is obvious. Alert other ones if possible. So for example, obviously if your house is on fire and you have kids or family members or whatever, then you scream the hell out of everyone, so that everybody can get out. Or if you're in a mall and the mall is catching fire in one side, but there are people trying to come in and you're the first one that goes out, then you're like, leave because the mall is on fire or something, You scream to others that they're not supposed to get there. If they go there, regardless of you, then that is not your freaking problem. But the point is that you try to warn them, and you should not stop You should not stop to help others not to go into the danger and, explain things, unless they are your family and you really want them to figure out or whatever, then don't. Because I'm sorry, but it's just, it is what it is. It's like, the policemen who are telling everybody, hey, go and take a road, take leave, and then people are like, oh no, we are staying. Oh, come on, the police cannot deal with the problem and deal with people that just want to stay. So stop it, just get away, get to safety. Now, while you are trying to get to safety, these are things that you really need to consider. You need to catch a break, and as soon as you catch a break, the first thing that you should do is silence your freaking phone. And I mean it. Just get your phone out. If you have like a second and you can stand up and you can do whatever, you try to get your freaking cell phone and try to silence that. Now, this is going to be a problem as well, because most millennials and people who are young, they are not silencing the phone, but they are also recording with flashlights and everything, trying to say, hey, I am in a movie and I am the character, so I'm not going to die, So, hell no. Get your freaking cell phone on silence and get the flashlight off, okay? If you're going to record or whatever, take the freaking flashlight off if you are going to do that. Otherwise, you might attract, things that you do not want to attract, especially like that. So the second part is, depending upon your emergency, is that you sit down, kind of like, let's say that you just went through a building that there was an earthquake, okay? You grabbed all those things and now you are outside of the building. So now you are silencing your phone again. This is important. This is why. Because in an emergency, a lot of people might be trapped, or they might be, scared or whatever. And guess what? Yes, rescuers and people that are there, like policemen, firemen, whatever, they are looking for phones that are sounding or whatever. And guess what? If your phone is ringing like crazy, the rescuers people cannot hear other people that actually need to be rescued. So get your inventory together. At this point, I mean like, okay, you went to the earthquake, you are fine. So now you go to the, a restaurant or whatever nearby, and you sit down and you think, okay, here's the first thing that you need to ask. Where are my freaking keys? I don't care what the hell you think you're doing. If you're in an emergency, the things that you need to have is shoes, jacket, keys. And I do mean keys like big keys, as in the keys for my grandma's house, my mom's house, my brother's house, the office, the car, my whatever, all of the freaking keys. Because if you can't go to your house because the bridge that goes into your house is damaged, then you might want to go to your mom's house, which is nearby. And if you happen to have a key of that will be helpful. So where are your freaking keys? If you can retrieve those keys from the place that you are at, try to retrieve them, because it is very, very, very important. It's like, okay, I have a car and now I'm all out of the building. Yeah, but I can't get into my car because I forgot the keys. Yeah, very smart from you, right? But you can't blame yourself or whatever. Now, the question is, can you get them? And if you can't get it safely or whatever, then just leave it and try to get another way. But if not, always try to get those three things: shoes, jacket, and keys, okay? Because without a jacket, you might be in trouble, and that jacket can help you with everything, because that jacket is cloth. And you need shoes. Where the hell are you going to go if you can't walk in the middle of the street that might have, glass and things and oh crap, So what the hell are you doing that barefoot, okay? So get your freaking keys, get your freaking shoes, and get your freaking jacket. So anyway, even if it is sunny. So anyway, then the other one is, okay, so you're out of the earthquake and you're out of everything and you're okay. You got your inventory. You have to try to find bathrooms. And you're like, what? Especially if you're in a group. Here is why. Let's say that you are in a zombie movie. Yes, I know, I'm crazy, but roll with me for a second. So you're in a zombie movie, and then you go to safety. Let's say that you went to a house, you found a house, and now you have it. It is okay to be there. You already checked if everything is there. You already have your inventory together. And then, what is going to happen? What do you think will happen? Do you think it's going to be like in the movies? Oh, hell no. Here's what's going to happen. Now, and I do mean now, that you actually have your inventory and you actually catch your breath and you actually feel kind of safe, now people are going to be throwing up. Now people are going to be like, oh crap, I need to go to the bathroom and pee, especially if you're a woman. Now you gotta wash your face. Now you gotta, comb your hair, do whatever the hell it takes, because your hormones are going to probably kill you. And I mean that specifically. Have you ever been into an earthquake or a very nearly death experience? People will tell you, and I mean, come on, you have felt it. Your hormones will make your heart pounce so freaking hard. It will give you headaches and pain in your muscles, and it will give you a lot of things. Oh crap, and at this point some people might be like, oh crap, I need a massage, I need something, because otherwise I'm going to, and people are going to be like, I need to drink water, I need to do whatever, so find a freaking bathroom, because otherwise you will have everybody fighting about going to the bathroom, or worse, everybody will be throwing up in the middle of the living room. So because they are scared and they are nervous. Okay, come on, over half of the people are very nervous and everything. Come on, not everybody has their things together. It's just not happening. So at this point that you are like, okay, so again, let's say that you're in the zombie movie, and then the group went to the house, and now you're safe, now you're okay. You went to the bathrooms, you are okay, you wash your face, now you look kind of okay. Now is with the time in that you help others, if it is possible for you. Because, it might not be possible for you, but oh hell, come on. Now people went to the bathroom, they have cleaned themselves, they have cleaned their own wounds and stuff, and now you can actually help, if it is possible. Now, here's the thing. After you have done this, and you're kind of like, okay, what do we have? So you check your inventory and you check everybody else's inventory. And then you're like, okay, so what do we have? We have food, we have water, we have fire, we have this, we don't have this, we have this, we don't have this, we have kids, we don't have... I mean, what the hell do you have so that you can make and organize the whole situation, so that you can think, okay, here is the problem, or here's what we think, which might not be the problem. Oh hell, for all I know, the earthquake might not have been, an earthquake that was just natural. It might have been, okay, that earthquake might have been just due to an explosion nearby, and for all I know, it might be crazy. So if you don't know what the hell is happening, then you can't make assumptions. If you make assumptions, the assumptions can be wrong, and if they are wrong, and you are going to go crazy here. So all you need to do is just organize the actual information that you have, organize the actual things that you have, and then you come up with a plan. And here's the deal. You make the plan, but you come out with two things. You make the plan and you think, after this is going to be hard times. So we need two things: meeting point and the objectives. In case that somebody, forgets, or somebody goes crazy, or somebody, doesn't follow you, or you get separated, or whatever. You find meeting points. You say, hey, if you get lost, or we're going from this house towards this bridge, and the objective is to get a car and move from that bridge towards this house, or whatever. So the final objective is to get to this house. You do not necessarily have to go through the bridge and all those things, so you have to have the objective clear. Like I said before, objective is different than activities. So if somebody gets lost in the activities, they can still follow the objective. Okay, it's kind of like your north. You don't necessarily, you may have a plan of, okay, I'm going from point A, from point B to from point C, from point D, and then up to C. But if you're planning on going through A to C, as in the last letter of the alphabet, somebody might find, hey, I'm going directly in just one point. That's it. and other people are maybe like, oh no, I'm skipping B, C, D, whatever. But the point is that they know what the objective is, getting to C. So you need to make sure that every single person understands the objective and every single person has meeting points, because if you get meeting points and you are injured or whatever, then you have like, okay, we are going to be here in this point until 2 days, and if nobody comes, then we're leaving to this place until 2 days, and then we're leaving, kind of like a timeline. Meeting points must have a timeline, okay? And you must have like a way of everyone communicating through this, and then you do all these things. So after you organize everything, you come up with a plan, you come up with a backup plan for everybody, so to follow the objective and stuff like that, and then you execute it. And for this, you really, really, really want to be like on your toes. And for this, you really want to try to be rested as much as possible. And you really want to have like supplies. And if not, if you don't have the proper supplies, you might stop to get them or something. But it's like this. You are going to go to the car and then you're going to drive. Yeah, but you need the keys for the car. You know what I'm saying? Or you're like, no, I'm going to walk. Yeah. You forgot there are kids in your group. Yeah. We're going to be quiet. Yeah. Try telling that to a little kid. So there are things that you must consider when executing, like supplies, energy level for everyone in the group, and time. Because you might run a marathon because you're used to the idea of exercising, but other people in the group might be like, oh crap, I can't even run 1 mile for my life. So you must consider that not every single person in the group will be like you. And you must consider that at this point, if you have family members, oh crap, this, I swear, is going to be your worst nightmare. Because mothers and fathers are not going to let the kids do their jobs, and even though that the kids might do them better than they are, because they are like, oh no, you are not going to the zombies, you're not going to get the keys through the zombies because, I'm your mother, I'm not letting you die, And you're like, yeah, but you're 60 and you can't walk and you use a cane for walking, kind of thing. But then she's like, yeah, I'm your mother and you're not defying me. So, oh crap, if you have family members there, you might have problems executing the plan because people will not agree with you. And if there are friends or there are people that you don't know, then they are going to be like, yeah, why should I trust you? Or why should I do what you say? Why don't we follow my plan? My plan is better. So this is going to be your worst nightmare because you are dealing with people, and people can be a nightmare, but at the same time, they are your best choice. Because what do you think? Do you think that you can survive alone, like a really, really bad urgency and emergency? You think you can do that alone, like completely alone? Oh hell, that can be the case for, I don't know, 1 day, maybe 2 days, maybe even a week. But not, unless you are a survivalist that is used to the idea of being completely alone for over, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 20 years and not going crazy about it, then that's fine with you. But other than that, if you belong to the rest of the groups, like the rest of the human race, oh hell no. So you need to execute this properly, and in order for you to execute this properly, like I said, you need to have the objective. Because hell, for all I know, if you want to go from A to Z, you can say, hey, we are going from this point to this point, from this point, because we have kids or whatever, and you can go from all this way to here, and from here you can come back with, with help for the rest of us, For all you can have 2 or 3 teams or whatever, depending upon whatever the hell you're doing. So, it might not necessarily bad, but the point is that everybody can agree about the objective. And here is the ability that I told you that you should have. Finding middle ground comes really, really, really handy. Because you will find middle ground with every single person in this group when you say, hey, I want to keep alive. Because I am guessing that if you went through all of these things, you're not going to commit suicide, or you want to have, you want to be killed. Because, come on, you have survived everything. So what the hell, you're already strong. Although some people might be like, yeah, I'm depressed. Yeah, but, the point is that you're alive and you want to keep alive, So that's the point that you want to do this. You want to tell everybody, hey, we want to keep alive. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to get from A to C, and this is, we have 2 or 3 choices. You can pick or whatever, but the point is that people need to be in charge. If they are over 18 years old, you need to let them be in charge of their own situation. Because some people might be good followers, but others will not be good followers, and they need to be in charge of their own situation, especially if they are, feeling like, okay, I don't know what to do, and they might be so scared. If they are too scared and they feel like they are worthless, they are not going to be helping you, because they will be a problem. So instead, you should try to empower them a little bit, and that way, you can say, hey, you are helping us by carrying or taking care of the child in this particular place or whatever. So you need to have people agreeing with the objective, but at the same time finding activities that might be well within their scope, okay? Especially people who are traumatized, or women, okay? So anyway, that's it. So thank you for watching, and see you again soon.